Today, I have not been feeling too great, but I still wanted to show up for myself today and record and share something valuable. And I know I'm not alone in not feeling great because it feels like the news does not stop and it can feel overwhelming sometimes to feel like it's a lot going on. But I know there's still value in showing up for yourself, even when it's difficult. And that's why I wanted to do that here. And the lesson I've learned, one as a coach over the last 4.5 years, is that to not follow your feelings, follow your decisions. And I have decided that this is what I'm doing. This is what I feel like I'm called to do it in this season of my life and in my business. And so I'm going to follow that the same way I follow it from being a mom or being a wife or being a family member, and showing up for my clients. Uh, we have to do that for ourselves. And I'm saying this as a woman, as a Black woman in corporate who did not used to show up for herself barely at all. I showed up for everybody else. I showed up for my besties. I showed up for my family. I showed up for my job. I showed up for my business. I showed up for my coaching clients, my consulting clients. I showed up for my dogs, even y'all. And I was not showing up for myself. And I want to teach us how to do that even when it's difficult. And so, one of the best strategies to do that is to give yourself an acknowledgement that you're not feeling it. So, one, acknowledge yourself. That's one way to show up for yourself is to acknowledge what you're even going through. So many of us just be on autopilot, going through the motions, just not even processing at all our experience. We just in it. And what I've learned is that when you don't process your experience, you will get stuck in it like you get stuck in sinking sand. Okay. You will stay mad or frustrated or an unidentified emotion or distracted or overwhelmed, and you won't be able to name it, even though it's following you day to day, week to week, month to month, and in some cases, year to year. And so, one acknowledgement, guys, is so important to acknowledge where you are, how you're feeling, what you're going through. Check in with yourself. Show up for yourself by asking yourself, how are you? You call your girls, you call your friends, you ask your kids all the time, how you doing? What's going on? We do not practice that with ourselves, and unfortunately, we have not been taught that. But it is so imperative to check in with you because when you show up for yourself and you don't see yourself as someone that's um, overlooked, right? You teach your brain to not overlook yourself. And then you also teach yourself to not attract or even be able to tolerate people who do not see you as important or checking in with you. So that's number one. Number two was journaling. I'm a big proponent of a journaling. It is my number one way of processing emotions as someone who can be sensitive a little bit. And I am spending the last 4.5 years kind of allowing myself to process a lot of emotions that I did not acknowledge, for one, or speak about or think about in real depth beforehand. And so I have to give myself permission to experience those. And one of the ways I do that is through journaling. And so I like to just start writing out everything that I'm feeling, everything that's going through my brain. It doesn't even have to make sense. It's just how I feel. Um, and I felt so much lighter and it helped me get into a position where I could focus enough to do this video. And so I want you to know journaling is not only just a great idea, it is scientific for how your body and brain can process your emotions because the point of this is to get the emotions out. And as a Black woman in corporate, in business, within your career and just your life, the transformation that's on the other side of days like this is being able to handle it without it handling you first, without you being checked out for the rest of the day, without you not wanting to be around anybody. I don't want that for you as we go into 2025. As I think about what potentially is on the horizon for a number of things, right? We have to, one, not catastrophize. We have to also see where our power is and act on it, take action, right? So all of these things have been helpful, and it helps me to remember we have power. There's opportunity in every situation to move forward. And even if you need a break, a pause to acknowledge, to be with, to process, there's still better coming. And I just want to equip us to handle these days, because it's not about things stopping when people stop being crazy and doing all these nutty things they're doing in the world. It's about us being stronger, and not in a black woman superhero trope, but stronger in that you're able to process, handle things in a positive way for your benefit, not stuff and hide what you got to deal with just to get through it. That's not what I'm recommending. So I hope this was helpful to you. And if it was, drop me a comment, hit like, follow, subscribe, and please follow me on Instagram at Marlana Bayless, as well as YouTube at Breakthrough Girl YouTube channel, so that you can follow me there. In the event we will need to transition our community onto those other platforms long term. But love you, wish you the best. And if you having the kind of day I had, it's going to get better. I love you.